going on, guys? This is JD. I'm back with another Magicka build, and I wanted to go ahead and dive into my Bloody Shalk build. This is going to be an alt regeneration build. It's a lot of fun. You're going to just build ultimate just ridiculous amounts of ultimate constantly. Now, your damage is going to be a little bit lower, but keep in mind, too, you're going to be more tanky, and so that's what you're kind of going for. So let's go ahead and we're going to dive into some stats. And then we'll go over a few other things as well, like Mundus Stone, CP, blah, 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 abilities, all that good stuff. So currently right now, here's the stats setup. So let's see, we're sitting at right around 30k max Magicka, 30k health, 16,000 stamina. Your recovery is going to be 1875. It's pretty decent in my opinion. With Seducers, you shouldn't really have a problem sustaining at all. If you're spamming anyways, like, you're doing something wrong. So you shouldn't need to spam one ability constantly. Now, of course, you got spell damage, 1459. That's a little low. You buffed up, it's going to look a little bit better. And then, so here's your spell and physical resistance. Buffed up, once again, they're going to look a lot better. So 23k on the spell resistance and almost 20k for the physical. Now, critical resistance is going to be 2623. I wear full impin across the board. So let's go ahead and once again look at those stats again, but we'll do it buffed up here, and then we'll go ahead and go over the stats again. So spell damage 1750 now, looking a lot better. Weapon damage 1735, but who cares? I mean, that I just use that for because I light attack, so I light weave a lot whenever I'm playing my Magicka, so that's just me. So 28,000. Got to redo that again. Hold on. 28,000 is going to be your spell resistance and 25,000 for your physical resistance. My opinion, looking pretty good. So let's go ahead and look at gear here. So naturally, I'm running Blood Spawn. So it's going to be both heavy. This is going to be a 7-piece heavy setup. You can run 2-piece light if you want. I run 7-piece heavy. I like to be way more tanky. So anyway, so we're going to do Blood Spawn. It's going to give you that ultimate regen, which is going to be great. It's going to give you more resistances. I mean, it's all around, hands down, in my opinion, it is the absolute best monster set you can have for a DK. I think it's absolutely the strongest one for DK for sure. Now, I'm also wearing Seducer 5-piece on the body. Now, keep in mind, this is all purple. I don't bother golding stuff out, man. It costs way too much money, and it's just... It's really not worth it. Like, as much as I change up things in PvP, it's not worth golding it out. But anyway, so running 5-piece Seducer, and then we're going to be running 5-piece Shalk. Now, I'm using Shalk because it's going to give me one ultimate every 1.5 seconds, which is really good, especially when we're looking at this back bar here. So when I'm in back bar mode, that means I'm in tank mode. I have decisive on that back bar, so I have a 15% chance of gaining one ultimate every time I gain one ultimate from Shalk, and every time I get a Blood Spawn proc. So keep that in mind. Sometimes you'll just watch your ultimate just go from like 50 all the way to 100 right out of nowhere on your bats. Like, it's really, really strong, in my opinion. Now, I run Seducers because I feel that in heavy, you need to have a sustain set on. It's just too hard to sustain without some sort of sustain set when you're wearing heavy. Now, my jewelry, I run Magicka recovery across the board. You can use reduction if you want. I know a lot of people do. A lot of people mix it up, maybe do 1 reduction, 2 recovery, or 2 reduction, 1 recovery. It's really up to your play style, however you want to play that. Now, I also use tripods. Now, it's totally up to you what kind of pots you want to use. I've just found tripods to be the absolute best for DK, so that's what I use on my Magicka. Now, let's go ahead and kind of dive into abilities. Now, of course, on this build, I'm not just like straight tank. Like, I still kill people. So you're not going to see me like some of those tanks out there where you see them with 40 people on top of them just wailing on them, and it takes them 5 minutes to kill them, or they just don't kill them at all. Like, you're not going to see me doing that. So my goal is with this build is to put out some damage while also being able to tank like 10 to 15 people. So that's kind of the goal with this build. So I'm going to run Flame Lash on my front bar. It's going to give me that nice proc when I set somebody off balance, so that's really, really good. And it's going to give you a really nice heal too when you get that proc. Burning Embers, hands down, best heal in the game, in my opinion. It's super strong. I've had like 16, 20, sometimes 30k heals off of Burning Embers, depending on what sets and what gear I'm wearing. Especially if you hit a crit heal on that thing, it's ridiculous. Burning Talons hits like a truck. It's an AoE lockdown and it's a dot. Really, really good ability. You can use Choking Talons if you want. I don't use Choking Talons. I prefer Burning, but that's me. And then there's Fossilize, of course. It's one of the most broken CCs in the game. It's absolutely ridiculous. I love it. I would suggest using it if I were you. And then Igneous Weapons. Now that's because I light weave. So if you want to do more of a heavy weave build or something like that, then you can definitely go the other morph and get you that extra 20% damage on your heavy attacks. And I use Standard of Might, especially on this build. It's absolutely ridiculous. If you jump into the middle of 15 or 20 people and you drop that standard down and you can just stand in that thing and just lock people down in it, shackle, and then on top of that, you're doing 20% more damage, taking 20% less damage, and it gives them freaking Major Defile, man. I mean, it's the best ultimate ever, in my opinion. But so yeah. Now in the back bar, I'm using Coagulating Blood because there are cases where, Inhale just doesn't work for me. For instance, if I'm getting sniped down from the top of a keep, I have no way of healing with just Inhale on. Now, so I use Coagulating Blood, and I mean, it's kind of shitty this patch, but next patch is supposed to be way better, so just hang on to it, get used to it. Totally up to you what heal you want to use. Igneous Shield, I mean, not much needs to be said right there. It gives you a shield, it gives you major mending, and it gives you stamina. I mean, what more could you ask for out of an ability? And then Volatile Armor, it's what's going to make you really tanky. It's also going to put a dot on people, and it returns Thorns damage to them. So it's really, really strong. I would suggest using Volatile Armor. Some people use the Shield morph. I think it's kind of crap. You'll never see me using it. Now, Elusive Mist, I use that because I solo a lot. If you want to remove that and you want to put your other buff here and then put Engulfing Flames on the front bar for more damage, you can do that. Or if you want to put Inhale in that spot, you can do that. Or if you want to put Defensive Posture in that spot so you can block more damage, you can do that. Now, of course, you're never going to cast Defensive Posture. All you're going to do is just use it to get a 8% reduction or 8%, yeah, to block 8% more damage, or and it takes down 8% less stamina, So, I mean, Defensive Posture will make your stamina last longer, you'll block more damage, really up to you. Now, I use Dragonfire Scale just because I don't really care for the extra, what is it, like 1700 spell resistance. I mean, I feel like double damage or 35% more damage or whatever is just way stronger. I'd rather use that. I'm almost at cap anyways with this build with spell resist, so I don't really feel like it's very that beneficial. Now, Devouring Swarm, it's your oh shit ultimate. It's your kill a Nightblade that keeps going into stealth ultimate. It's a great ultimate. So that's what I use on that bar. It makes you really tanky when you jump into a big group and then you want to just sit there and mow people down with bats. Like it's a lot of fun to use. So anyway, so this is the build. I hope you guys enjoy it. This is my Bloody Shalk build. I guess I'll go over CP actually real quick because I almost forgot about that. So we'll start over here in the blue tree. It's kind of the same as I keep my CP relatively the same for my Magicka. 75 in Elemental Expert, 27 in Blessed. Excellent. Blessed is so good. 10% increased healing. It's so strong. Spell Erosion. I like it. I'll keep 10 in there. I don't think it's like, that beneficial, but it is what it is. Thaumaturge 75 because you're going to get Exploiter from Thaumaturge. So that extra 10% to off-balanced enemies is really strong because keep in mind your Talons and your Fossilize both have a chance of setting people off balance. So if you hit somebody off balance with Talons, then you're not only going to get a Flame Lash on them, but each time you hit them with another Talons or whatever, it's going to do 10% more damage. So it's something you should really consider having in your CP tree. 39 points into Resistant. I like Resistant now, even though it's a flat, I guess a flat buff now than considering it used to be a percentage. Anyway, so here's Hardy and Elemental Defender. I do a 60-60 split, and then 28 in a thick skin. Now, next patch, if you want to use this build too, thick skin might be something you might want to put more into. I feel like we might see some more Magi DKs on the battlefield next patch, just because they're getting a pretty good buff. So, and then in Magician, I don't like to put 75 points in here. I might at next patch, but the diminishing returns is just super high. So I try and keep it around 12%. Really, you can get away with 10 and you'll be just fine. Diminishing returns are just super high with Magician. Now, I put 75 in Arcanist. I like to get that 20%. In my opinion, that's really, really probably the most important one right here. And then also 39 into Tumbling, super strong, great reduced dodge roll. You really want that as a Mag user. And that break free costs 10% less. So I put 11 points in a Shadow Ward. Probably next patch when they raise the cap, I'll probably put more in a Shadow Ward just because I block a lot, especially on this build as a DK. You're just going to block a lot naturally. So if you want to actually even put on a couple pieces of Sturdy instead of having full Impin, that might also be beneficial to you. So anyway, so yeah, here's the build. That's the CP, everything like that. There's the breakdown. I hope you guys enjoy the build. Give it a try, give it a go, and if you guys make other forms of the build, please send them to me. Let me know. I'd like to check out what you guys come up with. Anyways, thanks for watching, and here's some footage. Y'all have fun out there.
Wake up in the unknown. I've lost myself again, dreaming about your smile. Take my time without you. It seems the only place I'm racing to go is back in your arms, child. But something in my mind ain't right. I'm searching for darkness when I should be searching for light. So I blend into the night like camouflage.
Let's do it.
Above my head, it's where